Hi everyone. Thank you all for joining us. As you probably know, this is another Hackorona webinar. We're delivering every single day at exactly at 6 p.m. So today we're here with two very interesting sessions. We will be starting on in a few minutes, right on right in 1 minute we will be starting. So stay tuned. And today we have Lior with us. He's a cognitive lead at KPMG. He's also an MVP, Microsoft MVP. So this is really awesome to have you here with us. Um, and after that, we will have another session with NVIDIA. So stay with us. It's going to be very, very interesting today. So I guess that's a really good timing to start. So I'll hand it over to you, Lior. Go ahead and introduce yourself and start your session. Good luck.
All right. So thank you very much, and welcome all to this two interesting sessions concerning everything from AI and technology and everything that surrounds us. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Lior Armiev. I am working at KPMG. I am a cognitive lead over there. I am leading a lot of projects concerning everything that is AI as a service, bots, cognitive services, OCR, RPA, automation, whatever. Everything that moves that the computer can do and do it better than us or help us with our tasks. And today I'm going to teach you a little bit about the cognitive services. This is a very interesting branch under the AI services that Microsoft provide. I'll disable the camera because I needed later on for a demo that we have, and I moved to the slides. So I introduced myself. I'm AI MVP. I got it this year. I'm the first one in AI in Israel, and hope to get more people involved in the community and make more interesting contribution to this field in Israel. I'm going to talk to you today about AI as a whole solution. And of course, the target is the cognitive services. And I'll finish everything with a small demo. We don't have much time, so I'll run with the information that I have. I will start with a funny slide that I have that shows the amount of opinions that there are about AI, the problems that we encounter working with clients, working with people, explaining to people what is an AI and how we work with it. I think there's a big gap between the understanding of a common people of AI that think that it's something that is out of space, and companies that think that it's not mature enough or had their hands dirty in AI and didn't get the best service. But we, as a community and other people that do AI, we want to introduce it to everyone to understand that it's something that everyone can enjoy, everyone can use it. And I am, as a technology evangelist, I'm trying to put AI to the masses, so everyone can understand that you don't have to be a data scientist or a mathematician with I don't know 10 years of experience in mathematics to make AI. And this is the purpose of this presentation webinar. I will start from AI as a whole segment. AI is with us for many years. I myself working with formulas of Fourier from the 18th century right now. So it's a long time that AI is with us, with all the mathematics surrounding it. And it evolved around many years ago. And now we have a real blossom of AI. And the reason is simple, the computing power. All the cloud computing that is everywhere, and it's accessible to everyone, and it's public, and everyone can mount any kind of a computer with any kind of processing power that he needs. in order to create very interesting engines, train interesting models in machine learning for classification or deep learning for a more interesting deep dive to the neural networks of AI. And there are many fields that AI interact with people, people that are expert in machine learning, people that don't know machine learning, people that code and people that do not. And we want to introduce cognitive services as one of these options for people that don't know machine learning, they're not expert in machine learning, and they're not expert in code, or maybe they know code but they don't know machine learning. And we will find the right formula for everyone, so everyone can enjoy it. So there are the cognitive services, the machine learning services, the power platforms that can grow up and create an application involving AI without code. Azure as a platform will involve a lot of tools that can be used to creating amazing AI solutions. We have in Azure the right machines. We have the GPUs, the CPUs, the FPGAs, whatever infrastructure that you need for your experiment. You have the Databricks for running your experiment. If you're not familiar with the infrastructure and don't need to work with clusters, you have the Machine Learning Studio, creating your own models by dragging and dropping your models and creating a simple classification by just a few clicks. And of course, on the top layer, you have something that is called, on my perspective, it's a machine learning as a service. You just use something that is pre-made, pre-trained models that you don't need to have a lot of scientists or I don't know, many people that that have the knowledge with machine learning that create complicated and complex models, and you can just use it right out of the box. And I will dive into the cognitive services. This is the main purpose of this session, is to teach you how to use a service that is a pre-made trained model of machine learning without any knowledge of machine learning. So the main thing that you need to understand about cognitive services, that is, it's like using Lego. It's very simple. You just need to understand what is the model that you need to take and just use it. It's that simple. You use a simple API, REST API link that you input your information, for example, the text, the video, the question, any kind of information that you want to input to the model, and you got an answer. So is it an NLP with analysis on the text, or it can be OCR, it can be some kind of a personalization of information, NLP for language understanding, or speech recognition, or speech to text, text to speech, or any kind of a service that you want to work with. And all what you need to do is provide the input and enjoy the output, and combine couple of those rectangles together, those building blocks, to create a solution. So if I take, for example, a chatbot that is simple enough, just getting an input from a client, for example, a picture. I'll take an example of an insurance, for example, bot, an insurance bot that asks for my information. And in the chatbot, I say, okay, I have an insurance problem. I just got into an accident. And the chatbot will ask for me for a picture of my car, so he can understand that this is that the insurance is about me, that it's about my car. And I take a photo and I upload it and use the vision block, and I understand that I see a car that is labeled with a like red car, but my car in the insurance, for example, is white. So I can understand that there's a mismatch in the information. Later on, I can make a translation and make the chatbot work in any language by using the translation cube. Use a moderator to understand that the picture that I upload to the chatbot is maybe holding some inappropriate content, or I need more information from the text that I write. So instead of answering yes/no question, maybe I allow the user to write down a full line of text, a free text, and I need to analyze what has been said in this line. So take a good example of that in Twitter. If you want to see if your product is a success or a failure, you can just go and check the tweets, analyze the tweets for sentiment and understanding what are people are saying about the product. Is it a positive review, a negative review? So this is how simple it is by just introducing the right Lego part. And you always can extend it or you can downscale it, right? So if you see that your solution is good enough and you want to add it in multiple countries, so you just add the translate cube. Or if you need more, I don't know, speech-to-text options, or if you see that you don't need it anymore, you just remove a block. That's it. This is how simple it is to use cognitive service. In the cognitive services, you have a couple of categories that will hold a couple of solutions that can help you in your product. And the one that the most of people are talking about, because this is the one that we see always on TV, is the vision part. Everything concerning computer vision, face recognition, OCR technologies, form recognition, video indexing. Over here, you see on the slide, you have the computer vision with all the options to classify what you see in an image. So you put an input of an image, and you get an output of tags saying, what do I see in this image? You have the ink recognition that is part of the OCR solution that will allow you to understand handwritten text and characters that are written on the document. So you can put a picture of a document and get out with text information from this form. You have a solution that's called form recognizer, that you can take a receipt, for example, that is, you take a picture of a couple of receipts, and you can train the model to understand how a receipt of some sort looks like. And then you just all the time you're on the phone, take a picture of it, and it will extract on the information from this receipt. Same thing with the video indexer. It works like the image extraction of information, but on video. And you have the custom vision that takes a couple of images of a product line maybe that you have, and you want to sort and see if you have maybe a malfunction on your production line, that the product is not looking as it should have. So you have a picture of how it should have looked like, and you have a custom model that is trained to look for a particular image, and if something is not looking right, it will say that there's a problem over there. So this is everything that you can do in vision. It's really a big part of computer of the cognitive services, and you can do really a lot of things over there. In the speech, you have everything concerning speech recognition, the text-to-speech and speech-to-text options, the real-time transcript. For example, if you have a real-time voice and you need the transcript, you see it in Teams, for example. If you use Teams, there's an option for real-time transcript. This is the service. It works in many languages. It's always adding more options and more languages. If you're working with Hebrew, it's working, but not as you expect. So you don't have, for example, transcript on Hebrew, but you have many other options. There's another option of speaker identification and speaker verification. So I can identify someone that is speaking in a very loud environment. So if I'm working in an airport and I want to cancel out the background noise that I have, I can do it with this speaker identification. And speaker verification, I can verify that I am Lior and I'm the one that is speaking right now by taking samples of my voice signature and comparing it. If someone is familiar with some bank application, that you can call the bank, and the bank is saying, all right, tell me your ID. And by saying your ID is identifying that your signature is right by your voice signature. The third one is the language. This is a very important one because a lot of the information is written one, and we want to analyze the text that is coming into the system. The simplest of them, but is the most complex of them, is the translate, because working on different languages is very hard. And this is one of the models that make the most progress all the time because it has a lot of input from around the world. Text analysis, everything concerning the key phrases extraction and the sentiment analysis. This is the NLP. You have also the model for Q&A Maker. The Q&A Maker is a very simple model that is out of the box, that you can provide all of your information that you have inside of your organization that is written. So you have maybe some kind of a knowledge base with KVs or frequently asked questions or anything that concerning your business side that you can arrange in one place. And if I have a question, for example, in a chatbot or in a website or any other search engine that I use as part of my solution or application, I can introduce this Q&A that if I have a question that I have an answer that it is I'm the best suited for the question, I just present it with simple knowledge, like taking the PDF and extracting all the information from the PDF and showing to the user. Another very important part is language understanding engine. This is a very important and very useful cognitive service. That what it does, it's it's an NLP engine that can extract phrases very accurately. And how it works, it's simply if you have an example of a booking sentence. I want to book a flight from Tel Aviv to Seattle tomorrow morning for 7 days. If you work as a you're working with code and you want to extract everything that I said in this phrase, it's almost impossible because of all the sentences and the variation of sentences that can be in a booking sentence like that. What Luis can do is he can extract exactly the information from the sentence when it doesn't matter what is the location of each of the intents. For example, I know that it's Seattle. I know where I'm coming from. I know when I want to fly. I know to calculate for how long I want to go, and everything inside of the Lewis engine. So it's very, very complex, complex as a model, but very easy to use tool as part of the cognitive services service. There's the immersive reader. It's also some very simple service that can help with reading your website, for example, for people with disabilities. This is a very good one for, I guess, for everyone to add a little bit more for your website for people with some disabilities. Of course, there are the simple data moderators, for example, the content moderator, there's anomaly detection, and there's the personalizer. The personalizer, if someone having the Xbox at home, he is familiar with that, or something like Netflix, when it personalizes the information for the person, depending on some kind of a machine learning engine that is a deep learning engine that is trying to find the best suited movies, games, or any other product for the particular person. There are also the searching engines, so you can find images, you can find sentences, you can spelling checks, you can find whatever you want with the Bing services. For the people that saying that it's Bing and this is the problem, when you're searching as a person in searching engines, I agree that Google is a good service, but when you're doing it as a background with an API, as I saw from many results, Bing will give you this almost the same result, if not the same, with Google if you compare it. There are also some experiments that have been done by Microsoft that can do geolocation by photograph and trackings and many other things. Many of those services are experimental and are part of being developed into a product that will be a part of any of the solution that Cognitive will provide. And one of the most important things that the cognitive service can provide is that you can put many of the services in containers. And this is a very important part. Many people ask, what can I do about the latency that I have in the cloud? So if I have my information in Israel and I still don't have a data center that will be shortly provided by Microsoft next year, but till then, I need my service to be with a low latency, and maybe I have problems with my information being transferred by the internet, and I don't want it to be outside. I can always take a container and run many of the services inside of my organization by running a container. The only thing that you need to do for it to work is that you will provide some kind of an outgoing information for the billing. So there's no data extraction. There's only a method that the service will send a billing information to Microsoft on how much consumption that you did with your container. So this is the only thing that Microsoft will export from this container, but it's very useful. It's working like a charm. I use it in some of my projects, and you see a lot of cognitive services that are being provided in container, and many will be coming shortly. Some of them cannot be made because of the training model that is in the background. But Luis, for example, is one that I use almost in any project, and face and computer vision and anomaly detection for the edge platform. So you can put it on an edge on a computer or any solution or an IoT device and use it. And it's very useful. So this is one of the highlights in Microsoft Cognitive Services, because as I know, there is no such service in other providers as a cognitive service. All right, so let's dive in. I want to show you a little bit of a demo because I have only 9 minutes, even less. So a cognitive service, if you go to the Azure portal, it's very easy to find it. If you have a subscription, I guess that many of you that are working on the project of the hackathon on the Hackorona already entered their subscriptions and saw their portal of Azure. And if you're not familiar with that, just click in the search or add a resource and just find the cognitive services. As you press on it, you can you get to the screen that I'm on, and you always can add more services. All the services that I was talking about them, you have it over here, and you just click on the service. And this is the bot service, but let's take an example of I don't know, being auto suggestion. I just create something, I enter the information, and later on I have the service working. The next step that I need to use is just use the service. How do I use it? I get some kind of a key, and I have a link. So later on, I can use it in my project. So if I writing down the code, I can use those endpoint links and the keys in order to run my scripts. Right? Be careful. Don't share them. Don't worry. I will delete this resource later on. But the idea is that you're using a key. You can store this key in some kind of a key vault. Later on this year, Microsoft will have another authentication methods, not only the keys. And later on, we'll have the option to connect the cognitive services inside your internal networks in Azure. It's something that is already here, but it's still in a private preview, so it's not accessible for everyone. So for creating the service, this is all you need. Some kind of service, there are a couple of them, that can have some kind of a portal maybe for customization of your service. For example, if you have custom vision, the idea of custom vision, as I told you, that you can take pictures of your assembly line and put your pictures and saying, all right, this is right and this is wrong. How you do that? You go to a portal where you can put pictures, for example, and tag what is right and what is wrong and train on it and have a performance, and you have models, and you can train on them, and you can be more precise with your models, and you can retrain them and make some kind of a like self-training models. One more thing, I will show you just how it looks like in the code. So if I am working with Python, for example, it's very simple. You find in at the Microsoft website, you have a lot of links with a lot of examples on how to implement a simple code in any language, in Java, in Python, in C Sharp, in any other language that you want to use, or any other even codeless um, um, services. For example, if I have the Power Automate and I want to use any of the cognitive services, for example, Vision or any other, I just enter the action that I want to use, for example, Vision, Automate, for example, right? And you just use the service and work with it, right? Very simple. You just enter the information, like the key code, as you saw it over here, right? You enter the keys, you enter the name, you enter the URL, and enter the information that you want to be moderated in this example. In the simple code, if I run these lines of code in Python, this simple code is creating this rectangle around my image and is looking for the face recognition and trying to see what is my uh, incentive in the image. So if I'm happy, if I'm sad, and if you look over here on the terminal, you can see a debugging of what the engine is getting out from this service. So you see sadness, natural, surprise, anger, and you can play with it, and it will change. You see, I'm happy. It's very simple to use. It's just sending the image to Microsoft, doing the analysis, and getting it back. You can do the same. Instead of using something that is on the internet, you can use a container that will be with the local address. Another thing that it's important for you to know when you're using those kind of services is that they are very easy to use, but use them wisely. You need to understand when you use something that is in the cloud, you need to understand what do you send to the cloud. Don't send everything. So in this example, I have my image, but if I have a camera that is working 24 hours, look that you don't have like behind you a picture of a person that the service will send all the time, like 24/7. It will send like 20 frames per second, 24 hours a day. It will send this image for analysis, and you need to be very careful on that. So everything concerning cloud, just be clear about what you work with in the cloud. What I wanted to show you more about the cognitive services and something that you can download and use by yourself. It's called the Intelligence Kiosk. You can write down in Google, you write down Microsoft Cognitive Services Kiosk, and it will install a very simple example of almost all the cognitive services that Microsoft provide. You just need to enter all the keys that you have, if you have them, and it will show you a demo of each one and how it does it work. So if I go for the I don't know, real-time insights on a video, I can put a video and see the insight on the video. I can do a real-time classification, a driver real-time monitoring. So if I close my eyes, it will say that I'm sleepy, and then you'll see there's a problem over here, and it can send I don't know, an alert to the driver. There's a problem that you are getting sleepy, and maybe it's a good time to stop. One more thing that you can do here is example of a kiosk that you see a customer that is coming to your shop, and you can recognize the customer and saying, all right, I remember you. Last time you bought, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. Maybe you are interested in something new. Same with the image classification and custom vision explorer and the motion explorer. So if something that I did already, I take like the camera and take a snapshot, and it will say what are the emotions in the image. I can find the person in the image, right? You understand the idea. So there are a lot of examples. Everything is combined in one place, right? So we have only few minutes left. You need to understand that there are limitations to cognitive services. There are a lot of things that it can do, but you need to understand that there's a limit because of the general purpose of this kind of service. When you pay for someone for pre-made models, right, it is 90% general. It will recognize general purpose objects. And if you need something very, very concrete, you can use the custom models. But sometimes you need to get through this point and saying, all right, if I answer 90 or 80% of the organization request, right, for some kind of a product, I can continue with the 10% by creating a custom model in other languages, right, like in any other machine learning model. Remember, there are a lot of models. There's Microsoft, any other models I can use. I myself use OpenCV a lot with Microsoft, right? Because this is my reminder that we have a timeout. But I use OpenCV, for example, analyzing an image. Before I send it to Microsoft, I analyze it with OpenCV to understand what I see in the image, and only if I see that the person is live, only then I send it to Microsoft. So I reduce cost about by 99%. I reduce the cost of using a cognitive service. Everything that I said is available on the internet. You have a lot of the information available. Feel free to ask me anything that you want. I'm here, and I'm in the group of the hackathon. And remember that everything that is machine learning in slides, that it's not real till you do it on code. Right? So thank you very much. It was a pleasure. It was a very short time, and I'll give my microphone to the next one.
Great. Thank you very much, Leo. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, also as a mentor. So thank you very much for your contribution. And now I'm pleased to